standing here today. My name is Ross Gregory Stanford, and today I am graduating with my associate degree in science and nursing. First off, congratulations to Metropolitan Community College's class of 2026 graduates. We did it. One of the most interesting and inspirational aspects to this group is how non-traditional we all are collectively. There are mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, and even grandparents that are making the walk to get their diplomas today. We have people who left stable careers and educations in their home country making the walk to graduate today. We have people who are working on a second and even third career making the walk to get their diplomas today. All of these non-traditional components we all have in our lives amplify the crucible that pursuing higher education can be. Not a single thing was handed to anybody graduating today. The volume of time and of effort and of work required to make it here was immense. The challenges and adversity that higher education brings spans much further than just academics. It challenges you personally, professionally, and for many emotionally. Each and every one of my classmates making the walk for the last 2.5 years woke up every morning and chose to meet those adversities head on and overcome them. For the rest of our careers, we will all in some capacity be responsible for human life. As a result, our profession demands dedication, commitment, effort, knowledge, and hard work, all of which we have officially proven in both didactics and clinical application in various facilities throughout our community. Returning back to the non-traditional nature of our program, I want to share a portion of my journey now that it's so far in the rearview mirror. Instead of talking about what made me want to become a nurse, I'm going to explain what it took for me to become one. I joke that from the ages of 15 to 25, I lived on the installment plan, meaning that my freedom was there, just in installments between probation and incarcerations. At 15, I got charged with a serious weapons-related felony. Between juvenile detainment and out-of-home placement, I spent a little over 2 years in the system. When I was 25, I got another serious and this time adult drug-related felony. Without going into too much detail, between the sandwich of those events, you can probably imagine the kind of life I was living and the path that I was on. That trajectory will take you one of two places, either of which at that time I had fully accepted as being my endpoint. Something clicked, and I made a conscious decision to navigate life in a different direction. Due to my actions as a young man, my 0 point for the beginning of my journey into nursing started in a deep, deep deficit. I remember getting a point of contact with the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services Nursing Licensure Division to explain my background and what I wanted to do, and was essentially told that it wasn't possible, and rightfully so. It's hard to distinguish somebody with a record like mine from the actual man that I am. But anybody that knows me knows that I am far more dedicated and far more tough than I'll ever be smart. The ability to quit just was not wired in my genetic code. I have always been the kind of person to welcome adversity and to welcome challenges in various aspects of my life. So I decided to put my nose directly on the grindstone and got to work. When I first started this journey at MCC, I went through the Reentry Assistance Program, a program specifically tailored to felons and those just getting out of incarceration. I told them my plan and what I intended to do, and they told me essentially the same thing that the DHHS did, that a convicted felon and a drug dealer becoming a nurse is probably not the most realistic goal, that they haven't seen somebody with my background accomplish that. And again, true to my nature, I just kept moving forward. Aaron Cerrone is the owner of Mid-America Martial Arts and has both became a mentor and a close friend of mine. He saw the conviction that I had to move forward with my life and wrote a moving letter to my sentencing judge to set aside the felony. I know that without that letter, I wouldn't have the ability to be here, and the trajectory of my life would have definitely been vastly different. He took a chance on me, put both his name and his reputation on the line for me, and essentially gave me the runway that I needed to be able to prove myself. Another person who took a huge chance on me is our director, former director and educator, Ricky Christensen. Day one of our LPN year orientation, I had to hand her the stack of papers that is my criminal record, case numbers, explanations, and dates. She could have at any point found a reason based on my background to not let me in the program. But she also decided to take a chance on me where I know a lot of people wouldn't have. She is another huge component to being able to be where I am today. And it would be an absolute disservice to our program to not speak to our educators. Nursing school is an extremely unique subsect of academia where each and every one of our teachers were extremely proficient and knowledgeable nurses first and educators second. The sheer volume of experience each of our teachers have is absolutely invaluable. Whether it's Troy teaching us about emergency medicine, Alex in mental health, or Aaron with OB and pediatrics. The entire teaching staff draws from a deep pool of hands-on application of nursing practice, and as a result have been able to impart real-life skills we will use for the remainder of our careers. All of our teachers have been in our shoes and walked the same paths we are on now. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know I would not have made it here today without their support. My daughter was only 6 months old when I started nursing school. Concurrently to learning how to become a nurse, I was also learning how to become a father. She is and always will be the reason that I will forever be aimed due north. She is now the most beautiful and amazing little 3-year-old. Annalia is by far my greatest blessing in this life, and is honestly the only reason I chose to give this speech. So that at some point in her life, she will be able to see it and understand the value of determination and a force of will. I never have and never will hide from anything in my past, not from her and not from anybody on this earth. I would not be the man or the father that I am today if things didn't play out exactly as they have. That is not about the mistakes that you've made, but it's how you respond to them that defines you. That even if somebody like me, with a decade-long wake of destruction and chaos behind them, can get to where I am, anybody can. Every single challenge, every single mistake, and every single ounce of adversity, much of which was self-imposed for me, have honed me into the man that I am today. She will understand through my actions, not just my words, the importance of facing obstacles and approaching discomfort head-on, regardless of circumstance. In a way, for the last 5 years, this has become my life's work. Not just becoming a nurse, not just being a father, and not just being a student, but proving to myself and to society that yesterday's problems do not have to hold the reins to tomorrow's opportunities. Although my story is extremely specific, there is a ubiquitous lesson to be learned from it all. If there's anything that anybody in this arena can draw from the complicated path that I have walked to make it here today, it's be true to your purpose. Your goals, your drive, and your ambition do not have to make sense to everybody. Steady yourself and commit wholeheartedly to your objectives. People may question your goals. People may tell you that your goals aren't feasible, haven't been done before, or that your expectations are too high. I challenge you again to commit to yourself, commit to your purpose, and commit to the process. I am as good of proof as any the truth this statement carries. Every human being in this room has the ability to move mountains within themselves, within their communities, and in life. As the academic portion of all of our journeys end, we will all move forward professionally and within society. Walk the road less traveled, go forth, do great things, sow the seeds of dedication, commitment, drive, and purpose. I look at graduating from this program as putting a final punctuation mark on the dichotomy of who I was to who I am now. The past may write the first chapters of your story, but it never gets to hold the pen forever. Metropolitan Community College's class of 2026, it has been an absolute honor. The future is in very good hands. Thank you.